Most of the gloss on the market are made with synthetic oils.
Okay.
So you get to realize that people use it and they're having reactions, their lips are itchy, and some dry out a lot.
Okay.
So instead of the lip gloss protecting your lips from drying out, it's rather making your lips crack up.
Okay.
Imagine a foundation that is made from shea butter. That is natural. A concealer made from shea butter. It is very possible. It's until you sit to do it, you don't think it's possible. If I became a medical doctor, my business would have collapsed.
You wouldn't have even started at all. Okay.
But this is something I love doing, and I intend scaling up, and I intend making it my 9 to 5. To rent a shop here in Accra, it's not for the weak. Social media is the shop.
Thank you very much for coming on the ABC show, Wendy.
Don't mention.
All right. So I usually would love that our guests will introduce themselves, tell us who they are, but then whilst telling us who you are, tell us how your childhood influenced how you got to this point.
Okay, thank you very much for having me as well. It's such an honor to be on this show. My name is Wendy Bagonluri Sun Suma. I am the Upper West 2023 Queen for Ghana's Most Beautiful. And I also happen to be an entrepreneur. I currently manage 2 strong businesses, Crochet by Khaleesi and Delui Beauty. I'm a biochemist. I'm a fashion model. I'm a beauty model. Everything beauty, everything fashion.
Right.
Yes, I always do come up. And not to mention the fact that I'm also from the Upper West region, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
A proud daughter of Uoluna Bagonluri.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm a typical village girl.
Okay.
But I mean, I've traveled and my eyes have opened a little. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I mean, earlier when we were having a conversation, you mentioned that what you're wearing was made by you.
Yes.
How did you get to this point? Did you grow up learning to do all these things, or it was after a point in life that you decided I need to learn these skills because of the way the economy was, or the kind of person you wanted yourself to be in future?
I think I'm one of those people who would say COVID-19 impacted us positively because crocheting is something I learned in basic school.
Okay.
Yes. I learned this in primary 6. However, it was just the regular tablecloth and things we made for ourselves as girls. So when COVID hit and we were asked to go home, I remember my school, we had to lock down. Most people locked down. We didn't know it would extend that much.
Okay.
So someone like me, I went back home without my lecture notes because I was thinking it was going to be a very short period and we come back. I was at home, I got bored, and I decided to start doing something. So I made hats for myself, I remember. Okay. And I think I did a video with it. That time, social media became
the only place
only place to go. So I made a hat and I posted it, and I had people asking. And I'm like, okay, why don't I take this seriously? So on the 1st of April, I officially started crocheting, and I posted some of my work, and then that's how it all started. So it's I think it's a talent I had.
Okay.
And I just monetized the talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you say talent, but I want to add that. So you actually build a skill from basic school.
Yeah, basic school.
Improve the talent, and then you started monetizing it back in 2020. So April 2020 is when you started making money from.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. You also mentioned that you do a bit of cosmetics, so
yes,
a few products. So is it your background from what you study as a biochemist that got you into that, or there was also a need that you saw on the market that got you into doing this business as well?
So it did definitely start with the biochemistry. I'd always wanted to go into pharmaceuticals anyway, because I love putting things together to get an end result.
Okay.
Yes. So I'd always wanted to do something unique, something beautiful with my biochemistry background. But the lip gloss actually started with something I saw on social media.
Okay.
Now, I'm one of the people who has been hugely impacted with social media positively.
Right.
I always try to pick up the positive aspect from social media. So I think there was a day I was on TikTok and I saw a lady making lip gloss. And I'm like, no, wait. You know, there are certain products we usually think you need like a big setup, or they come from a huge production site. You need some huge equipment to make. So when I saw her making the lip gloss, like in 30 seconds, it looked beautiful. It was satisfying. It was amazing. And I told myself I can do this. I mean, as a biochemist, why can't I? Yeah, so I went straight to YouTube where I learned a lot. I went to YouTube, then I started learning, I started researching. However, the ingredients they were using, I began to ask myself, can I get them in Ghana? And some of the oils came up as expensive. But I grew up around a lot of shea butter.
Okay.
Then again, we have women who always resort to using natural shea butters because they have sensitive skin issues. So you find them just using raw shea butter and even trying to formulate their own soaps.
Yeah.
But then we don't pay attention to the lip aspect of it because your lip is part of your skin anyway. So I decided to target that aspect of the market because I realized a lot of young ladies were already into the lip gloss business.
Okay.
I had seen and I thought it was a new thing. And that's why they said there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
Yeah, so I thought it was a new thing I had discovered, only to go online and I see a lot of ladies doing it. So I had to do something to set me apart, to make my business unique.
Right.
And that is why I decided to go with the shea butter lip
Okay.
glosses.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, before we started the conversation, you mentioned that you grew up seeing your mother, who was a teacher,
Yeah.
doing a side hustle. Was your mom your role model that pushed you into running a side hustle? Because you also mentioned you have an 8 to 5 job that you do.
Yes.
So I agree that I think for now to survive in Ghana, an 8 to 5 plus a side hustle or plus 2 or 3 side hustles to get you going.
Yeah.
But who influenced you in taking this lane or route to survive in the current economy that we are living in?
I'm the first of 3 kids.
Okay.
And I think that same period, my mom she went back to school. She was a teacher, juggling 4 stubborn kids. And she still made time. I remember sometimes she sold ice cream and water.
Okay.
Sometimes as late as 8 p.m., 9 p.m., we are making ice cream.
You're tying ice cream.
You're tying ice cream. I remember those days you hide and take the ice cream and she has counted everything and, we had issues with her. So I think I drew motivation from that. I mean, I was a kid at that time, so it never occurred to me, I want to be like my mom when I grow up, I want to do business and all of that. Because trust me, as at that time, my monetary skills was bad. I couldn't give someone correct change.
Okay.
I had issues with anytime I went to sell the products at my mom's school when I was on break from my own school, and I'll give people more change than they exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I drew that inspiration from her because she was doing all of this and she was still making time for her business as well. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I also mentioned that I sell food. My mom used to run a home chop bar. So I picked a few cooking skills from there that moved me into selling food. I mean, I don't do that.
So you cook yourself?
I cook, but I'm not the one who cooks to sell now because I have an 8 to 5. Yeah, but it started with me wanting to cook right after uni. So, and also because you wouldn't get a job. Even if you found one, the salary wasn't what you are planning for. It's always there. So you've picked a few lessons from your mom, you've built it up. What philosophies have you personally added to everything you picked from mom growing up, and then the opportunities that COVID brought to say, this is how I want my business to be?
I believe if it must be done, it must be done well. We don't have time to go back and correct wrongs. I mean, there's always room for mistakes, but the mistakes shouldn't be so huge. Because for the kind of businesses I do, if I'm making this dress and I make a mistake and I don't notice it and I go way down, I have to unravel everything.
Start all over.
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time. Okay. So if you are doing something if you set your mind to do something, if you are sitting down to do something, there and then, you should do it well.
All right.
You don't have any rooms for mistake. Making ice cream, if you miss the margarine, because we put margarine in the ice cream, if you miss the margarine, everything is messed up. If I'm making lip gloss and I miss an ingredient and I fill all my tubes and I remember I missed that ingredient,
that's money gone down the drain.
money gone. So I always make sure that anything I'm doing, there and then, you're doing it well. You're doing it right.
All right. I mean, if it must be done, it must be done well. I totally agree. Now, so a biochemist, you've been a beauty queen, you run 2 side hustles, you have an 8 to 5. At what point did you decide that you wanted to be a biochemist? Is it you read science in school? Did you grow up looking up to somebody who was a biochemist? Did anybody guide you into that space? Or you were offered a program?
Interesting. So I'm a product of Ola Girls Secondary School, and I read science. Reading science, the idea or the plan was always to be a medical doctor.
I know.
It's crazy how growing up as kids, it was always doctor, lawyer. I think that was the two in my family. Yes, doctor, lawyer was like the go-to. That's the only thing you had. I think now our parents are losing up a little, allowing our younger siblings to venture into other areas. Yeah. But I think I'm a disappointed medical student because I couldn't get into medical school.
Okay.
Yeah, I think nobody knows this.
You actually applied for medical school?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. I didn't get it. So I was even trying to go the direction of physician assistant.
Okay.
Because they're like PA. They're like almost like medical doctors. But it still didn't work out. So I started reading and I realized biochemistry was one of those courses that has a lot of prospects. Yeah, you have a lot of areas you can go into when you're done with school.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, since I'm a disappointed medical student, at that point I didn't know what to do. So I decided to go into the biochemistry.
Okay.
I think in my 3rd year, I developed a lot of interest because I got the chance to intern at Tobinco Pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
So I loved the drug aspect. I wanted to go into pharmaceuticals so bad. I think I still want to because, yes. And then I'm like, okay, once I'm done with the biochemistry, I can go into, or I can branch into anywhere I want to go. Yeah, so that's why I started with the biochemistry.
All right. Sounds interesting. I can relate to you saying that you're a disappointed medical student. I call myself a disappointed military man because I so much wanted to be in the army. I mean, that right from primary school, I knew I wanted to be in the army.
Wow.
But fast forward, when I look at what I do now, I tell myself that if I was in the army, I couldn't have been able to do any of the things you do. And I could relate that to your story because biochemistry relating to the products you produce now and the time you have to do everything else that you do. Sometimes if you look at a story just from one angle, we don't see we don't see everything falling in line. But when you sit back and say, okay, I'm able to do A, B, C, D, and it's related to everything that has happened to me in life, you see how it's as if there's a bigger hand that actually shapes what we want to do, and we don't even see that coming. So I've stopped calling myself a disappointed man, but once in a while I say that and laugh. Yeah. You mentioned that you were the beauty queen for the Upper West region 2022, right?
Yes.
How did you get into that? Were you a beauty queen at uni? Did you participate in anything? Did you grow up seeing yourself, this is what I want to do? Or it just happened that let me explore this and see what experience I can gain?
I remember back in secondary school, my dad would complain a lot because I was a science student, but I was a president for the debate drama and writers club.
Okay.
And he didn't understand because he's saying you are participating in a lot of extracurricular activities, you're a science student, you have to stick to your books and all of that. Yeah. So right from high school, I have done a lot of extracurricular activities. Even in uni, in UDS, where I studied my biochemistry, I was still into student politics. I was the first female speaker for the student parliament.
All right.
And with that, my dad was still complaining because he expected me to always be science related, science stuff. So I think the pageant started right from uni because right from my level 100, when I stepped my foot into that school, I participated in Miss Campus.
Okay.
Miss Akwaba.
Okay,
Miss
yeah.
what? Yes. So I've had a lot of pageant experience from
Okay.
from uni. I also participated in Miss Tourism Ghana,
Okay.
and so GMB was the apex for me. Not the end though, but that was the aim.
Okay.
And when you're aiming for something, you have to prepare yourself.
That's
so
true.
I decided to, why don't I gather experience from all these other pageants? Then I can prepare myself for Ghana's Most Beautiful. So when I auditioned in 2019 and I wasn't picked, I felt I just wasn't prepared anyway because it looked like it was a rush. Now, I auditioned because we were at home doing nothing.
Okay.
And I felt that was an opportunity for me to
use that time.
pass time and do Ghana's Most Beautiful. So when it didn't happen for me, I decided to take my time, finish up with school, and do it again or apply again, audition again after my national service or during my national service.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How did the 2019 experience influence you going in there again? I mean, you've been in there, you've applied, you've auditioned before, you didn't go through. Now you know what the expectations are. How did that influence your going back again in 2022?
I think I prepared better. Because I've been there before, I saw how it was. Auditions are tricky anyway.
Okay.
Yes, the judges know what they want from you. So this judge probably will be looking at your eloquence. Another judge isn't really concerned about that. They're looking at your, since Ghana's Most Beautiful is a cultural or traditional related pageant, some of them are concentrating more on the cultural aspect. So when I wasn't picked the first time, I just had to do my research better to see if it will happen again. Yeah.
So, I mean, that again brings me to another life experience where you say you try once, you fail, you don't get stuck there, you try again.
You try again.
Yeah, and that's what you should. Yeah. The pageant itself, so now you are representing Upper West. You are back in the crowd doing all your tours, going through everything. How did that influence you, and how has that opened doors for you with the things that you do after? Is it as we see it?
When you go for a pageant and you come back, people expect a lot from you. And unfortunately, we don't always think of the aftermath before we get into the competition.
Okay.
Everybody is concerned about getting into the competition, being on TV, but then we don't take a step back to actually analyze what is going to happen after the competition, because people are expecting a lot from you. People are texting me, asking me to help them pay fees, help them pay their rent. It's sad because unfortunately I cannot help you. All the monies they saw that were being used for our votes were coming from a group of people. So it doesn't look as if, though coming from an affluent home would help your pageant dreams, but the votes you get or how far you get into the competition is like a lot of people coming together. So it doesn't look as if you personally come from a family of wealth. Yes. So unfortunately, that's what people think, and they expect you to live a certain kind of lifestyle, which I am not really pushed by, because they're expecting you to probably be driving, to be looking good, wearing the most expensive clothes, making appearances at events just because you're a beauty queen. It doesn't work that way. You hardly see Queen Elizabeth. Even the president, you hardly see him. Yes, but then people expect you to show up all the time. So it has impacted me. It has also helped with the fact that you have, as a business owner, you have people coming to buy from you, and they are able to recognize, oh, you are the one. So they develop some level of trust. In this era where, unfortunately, we have a lot of scams online. It has at least given me a little bit of trust. But then trust me. There was a time someone came to order from me, and I asked her to pay before I deliver, because that's my philosophy. Because I've also been scammed before. When people say I'll pay on delivery, you get there and they're not picking up, or sometimes the rider will get there and then he gives it out and goes, not knowing they haven't paid. She's texting me to place an order, and I'm like, I only take payments on delivery. And then she has gone back to text the person who gave her my contact. And this person she got my contacts from, during my GMB period, was posting me and voting for me. So she knows I'm Sun Suma, Ghana's Most Beautiful 2023. But she's still scared, saying I'll scam her. So unfortunately, we have certain people who are just, no matter who you are, they just don't have trust at all.
So the expectation of the public when you are a beauty queen, I think, is different. People think that once you're on TV, and it's not just being a beauty queen.
Yes.
Trust me, once you appear on TV 2-3 times, you're not sure. If you're running a business somewhere, your landlord thinks that because your business is on TV, you're making money, your rent is likely to go up,
Yes.
or you are going to get evicted. So our mindset of what people being on TV is on a different level.
It's on a different level.
To a large extent, it's good for the business. Yeah, people think you've already made it, but if you want to live to their expectations, it's wahala for everybody. But you mentioned one thing, that it's built that trust that, yes, this is who you are. This is a beauty queen, and this is someone we can trust. So it's something that you can bring on, that once you go through such a pageant, you are likely to build that trust. We know that you're able to drive change in community, and you doing your own business, you're also able to push that, and we can trust that the product you're selling to us,
Yes.
you say is organic, is actually organic.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's one good thing that comes with it. But were there any high moments, any low moments during the pageant?
My highest moment was when I got the opportunity to present my business on the stage.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I actually went for Ghana's Most Beautiful.
All right.
I wanted to use that platform to push my business.
Okay.
Because I knew a lot of people were going to watch. And right from the first day I went into the house, I told myself, look, there is one crown. Even if all the contestants are at par in intelligence,
Only
in
one.
confidence, it's just one crown. So at the end of the day, they may just probably ballot out our names and put the crown on someone's head. So what if you don't get the crown on your head?
Yeah, how do you
Does it
handle
mean
that?
you miss out on all the other things? No. So the highest moment for me was when, I think that night, we were presenting on businesses entrepreneurship. So I went on stage with my products, and I was able to show the world what I had. That was my highest moment
All right.
in the house.
All right.
My lowest moment, I think my lowest moment was that day.
Okay. Why?
That day was my highest and lowest.
Why?
Lowest because one of the judges said my gloss didn't smell nice. My gloss smelled bad.
Okay.
And it's not what she said, but it is how she said it.
Okay.
You know, that day we were presenting our businesses in a manner as though there were new business ideas we were having.
But you had
so
a
we're
product to
pitching,
show.
but I had the product already. So some of the contestants had to develop business ideas in the house, then they had to make logos.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a pitch. So that day was my highest and my lowest. My eviction wasn't my lowest, trust me, because the eviction was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Eventually, someone would go home for someone to wear the crown. But my lowest moment and my highest moment happened on one night.
All right.
When I got a chance to put my product on TV, but I was told...
On TV, someone again tells you...
On TV, someone says my glosses smelled bad.
So I don't know why...
That was the worst day for me in the house.
That's...
Yes.
And I've been in a pitch competition before, and I don't want to name, but we had a similar experience where we also had a product. So this product that we were putting out there, we were running with secondary schools, and we were now trying to move it to farmers.
Okay.
And then during the pitch, a judge says that this is not sustainable. I'm like, you can't say that everybody else is running with an idea. We at least have tried it with a school or secondary schools. We want to move it to farmers. So saying it's not sustainable. Mm-hmm. But that's it. When it comes to competitions, there are judges. Exactly. They are the judges. We go with what they say. But it's a lesson, and I'm sure after you came back from that lowest point within the competition, there were things that you did with your products.
So should I tell you the truth? The product didn't smell bad. Even her colleague judges, there were 3 judges.
Okay.
The 2, when she said that, the 2 looked at her. I think that's the video circulating on social media. If you search, you'll find.
Okay.
They were surprised. Even the host for the show had products. Okay. So that day I went all out. I even gave the audience my products. Okay. So when she said that, people were actually surprised because the judges she was with on the seats didn't agree with her.
Okay.
So it's not as if the product smell bad. If the product smell bad, I wouldn't even sit here to say it. Why would I sit here to tell it exactly? But it wasn't. So that was why it was the lowest. It was my lowest moment, because this is a product I had put everything in. And even on social media, my customers were on TV3's page ranting, saying it's not true because they've tried my products. How are you saying it smells bad?
It's just feedback. Not everybody knows how to give feedback.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
sometimes we get it. We get to that point. All right. So you are in this space where you mentioned that almost when you first saw how to produce lip gloss, you thought you found a gold mine. You're the only one going to mine it. Then you come out and there are other people in there running the space.
Yes.
How have you dealt with that?
Even now, the market is saturated.
Okay.
Yes, a lot of. I think it's an easy business.
Okay.
It's lucrative. That is why I see a lot of young ladies going into that aspect because they can easily make money from it.
Okay.
Every woman uses lip gloss. It's like it's part of every woman's basic makeup.
Okay.
So you realize a lot of ladies going into that aspect. It's crazy. It's crazy because it makes it difficult for us to keep up with the amount of lip gloss vendors. But I always say that the sky is big.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to market your products. You have to know who you're targeting, know your value proposition. Because if you know what you're providing, if you know the value your product is giving, you'll be able to market it properly, be able to advertise it properly. Yeah. So I've not seen any lip gloss vendor, I'm yet to see, but I've not seen any lip gloss vendor hitting on the natural aspect of their glosses. Okay. Because most of the gloss on the market are made with synthetic oils.
Okay.
So you get to realize that people use it and they're having reactions, their lips are itchy, and some dry out a lot. Okay. So instead of the lip gloss protecting your lips from drying out, it's rather making your lips crack up.
Okay.
Yes, and some also leave whitish lines when you are talking and all of that. So that's what my value proposition is. Okay. I am concentrating on that aspect more because there are lots of other lip gloss vendors. And I believe so much in women empowerment. In as much as the market is saturated, I still want young women to be able to, venture into this aspect of business. Right. So I do train. I train other girls to make lip gloss. To produce lip gloss. Though the market is saturated.
All right.
But I am concentrating more on recruiting agents. So what I do is I currently have about 10 ladies in universities around Ghana who are selling my product on their campus. Okay. And they're making money from it.
All right.
Yeah, so that is what I'm concentrating on doing now. I'm trying to empower these young ladies. I'm looking at working more with ladies from the universities. Okay. Now, you wonder why the universities. That's because these are the girls that are going to come out and be the career women in the world. Yeah. So if she met my product while she was in school and she comes out, then I have gotten myself a customer, like a long time.
Long-term customer. You will sell the brand.
Exactly. So I'm just looking at getting more agents in, if not all the tertiary institutions, to empower them, to open up their minds that, I can do a business. So when they are done, when they graduate from the university, we're not waiting for the government to employ us. They have something doing.
The part where you use shea butter, you're from a region where shea butter is in abundance, but you've been able to add value to it. Mm-hmm. How did that idea come about, and how have you empowered a woman from which you get your main, raw material that you use in producing your lip gloss?
Most of them are very familiar with the body butter and all of that. Yeah. And they eat it as well.
Yeah.
So my lip gloss brand or my cosmetic brand looks at giving them another option, gives them another sector they can sell their shea butter to. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I think they often sell to those who are into the body butters and the hair butters and all of that. So if I'm able to scale up this business, I'm going to get more shea butter from these women. Yeah. And that's also going to scale up their own business. That's going to give them more revenue. Yeah. And scaling up on my side would mean investing in machinery for them. Yeah. Because I don't intend to produce shea butter. No. Yeah. I intend supporting these women with machinery, with skills. Okay. So they will be able to give me the shea butter I need for my business.
All right. You have an 8-to-5 job. You have 2 businesses. You produce what you're wearing. We've barely spoken about that. What do you produce stuff for both male and female, or just female products?
I'm very high on setting myself apart.
Okay.
Yes, and unfortunately, the only thing that's bothering me now is that this is handmade. This will take me, because I do a 9 to 5. This takes me approximately 2 weeks.
Wow.
This took me 4 hours to make.
Wow.
That like sitting down 4 hours straight. If I sit down on this, I can do this within 2 days, 3 days.
Okay.
I'm trying to set myself apart in the sense that most of the crochet designers we have, first of all, do you own a crochet? You don't own a crochet.
No, I don't.
But this would look good on you if it was in a shirt form.
Sure.
Good. So we at Crochet by Khaleesi are looking at focusing on our men now, because the men are being left out in the crochet fashion.
Okay.
Most of the crochet designers you find online are making female stuff because, well, it's the females who love to flaunt their bodies and all. Men, you're black and you are gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
yes.
like a
but then we
policeman.
are looking at including the men in our plans.
Okay.
But then, as I mentioned, unfortunately, it's a time.
Okay.
So once I'm able to put the whole plan together, then I can get other designers on board.
Okay.
Then we release like a whole line for men.
All
For
right.
now, it's just the regular female.
All right.
I do.
That's
yeah.
great. Now, let's see how you're combining 2 side hustles in an 8 to 5. How are you managing all that? And I'm sure, do you manage your own social media account?
All of them. Like
All right.
5.
Okay, so now let's see what we can learn from everything else that you're doing. How are you managing all these?
You earlier mentioned that you don't call yourself a disappointed military man again because of where you have gotten to, because you felt probably the experience. Yeah. When I was done with my national service, I was looking at working with the big companies. I was targeting the top companies. Am I allowed to mention names?
You can.
So I was targeting the Nestles and the Unilevers and all of that.
All right.
But then even during my national service, I worked at the Ministry of Agric anyway.
Okay.
I wasn't getting time for my work. So currently production for crochet has gone down.
Okay.
Because I do it alone. It's handmade. So I take one order at a time, I do it and I give it out. So now I ask myself, if I really got the job at those places, if I got employed at those places,
You became a medical doctor.
if I became a medical doctor,
Wahala.
my business would have collapsed.
You wouldn't have even started at all. Okay.
But this is something I love doing, and I intend scaling up, and I intend making it my 9 to 5.
All right.
So I think where I am currently is helping me a lot because I'm in academia. I work at the engineering department at Academic City University College. So it's more of teaching.
Okay.
So currently my lectures, like I have lectures on Thursdays and Fridays as I speak.
Okay.
So I'm a little free on the other days. So I can go to work and close earlier.
Yeah.
So I can close earlier and go home. My schedule is not really time bound.
Yeah.
Yes, if I don't really have a lecture, I have to be at work. I hope my HR doesn't see this though. I will be at work, but I'm able, it's flexible. Long story short, it's flexible. Okay. So I get the chance to do other things. Okay. Though I'm not getting ample time, I'm not getting a lot of time to concentrate on my business, but it's better than if I was a medical doctor.
I can relate. I mean, I teach, so teaching opens a lot of doors. So I tell people that, teaching academia opens door, gives you other side gigs, and then also gives you the time to do. Yeah. So academia, you're managing 2 side hustles, you're managing social media accounts. Yes. You are probably, if you're in academia, they say you publish or you perish. It means that you need to be thinking of publishing and all that. What's keeping you going? Like, what exactly is holding you the sperm to do all these?
Nobody has it figured out yet. Yeah. But I think I just have a schedule.
Okay.
I'm able to plan. Though sometimes I divert from what I have planned, my schedule, but I'm able to stick to what I have to do. So if I have an itinerary, if I have a deadline, I make sure I meet my deadlines. If I'm working, If I'm doing academia, I make sure it's academia. If I'm doing my business, I'm not doing academia.
Okay.
If I'm doing my lip gloss, it's lip gloss. If I'm doing crochet, it's crochet. For social media, it's hard, trust me, because I currently manage 6 social media accounts.
Personal accounts.
Business, personal, everything
Wow.
together. Yes. Now, content creation is the ish. If you don't create content, nobody's watching your content. So you have to constantly create content. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I even started doing YouTube at time. Because it's a different thing recording.
Yeah.
It's a different thing editing and uploading. So it's, trust me, the 24 hours is not enough for me. I wish we could
add a few more hours.
But I try.
All right. But I noticed are you 3 years now? Is your business 3 years?
Yeah, so for the beauty, the Delivery Beauty, the lip gloss is 3 and the
Okay.
crochet is 4.
Yeah. But I saw that on social media that I was wondering who was behind the account, who was managing the account,
It's
only
me.
to find out that you're the one doing
Just
all
me.
that. But would you say that this generation is so lucky? So yesterday I was telling a few friends that when I had admission to the university, so you had to either get a call or be told that you received a letter to actually, and then when those days back in UDS, when your results are out, it's pasted on the notice board.
Yes.
We queue, you go with a pen and a book to go and write or if you have a good phone, you're able to take your results. Now, in the university, nobody goes to queue for anything. Internet, social media, there's just so much going on that I believe that if you are not able to make money in this generation, it might be hard in future because there are just so many opportunities. You mentioned that if you're not creating content, then nobody's really watching you. Has your business come at a good time where social media has made it available to sell to other people who otherwise you didn't have even met?
Good time. It's a perfect time for the kind of business I do. I don't intend owning a shop anytime soon. It's not part of my short-term goals because to rent a shop here in Accra, it's not for the weak. I would rather probably invest in a warehouse or production space than actually a walk-in shop.
Yeah.
Social media is the shop.
All right.
Once you order, we deliver. So I think it has helped us so much that you're able to reach a lot of people with a post.
Right.
You just have to put in the work to push that post to reach millions of viewers. Yes. So once people see your post, they can easily place an order and you have it delivered to them. So social media, it amazes me how TikTok is actually more, I don't know how to put it, but it looks like that place.
The Chinese are just crazy with their TikTok app, right?
I don't know, but it's amazing. It's amazing. You post a video, and then it's crazy how you can post a video today. You wake up the next morning, you hit 1 million views. You post another video, and the next morning you have 2 views. Yes, but I think it's at the right time. And I always say this anytime I get the chance to speak to young people. You cannot hold your phone, especially those who hold expensive phones, and you're not making money from it. You are cheating yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of waking up every morning to post your photos on your status or post memes and motivational quotes, why don't you push something that will get you money? You don't necessarily have to sell a product to make money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everyone thinks making money, or most people think making money has to do with selling something. It could even be advertising to make money. Yeah, with your phone and your social media.
I so much believe in you're in academia. Now you give anybody assignment, the first thing they go to is boom. They're going online.
ChatGPT.
They are going AI. They're going to find new answers. And I'm wondering the people who came before us, and then maybe if you look at our time, there's just so much opportunity out there that
Yes.
I mean, with what you do in academia, my hope is that you'll be able to drag a lot of your students along.
Yes.
While they aim at 8 to 5, they should also aim at having a side hustle. Because I believe that that's the only thing that we can leave behind for our kids. We will do so much impact with our 8 to 5. But to leave something our kids, our children, our family can hold on to when we are no more, is the thing that we're able to create ourselves. And I'm proud that you are doing that. And when you mentioned that anytime you meet young people, you tell them, I was looking at, okay, am I the old man here? Yeah.
When I say young people, I mean, Younger people.
Yeah,
Younger people.
Yeah, So, future plans. What are you looking into? I see you, and if you ask me, this I'm not charging for that. If there's any other product that you should add to your product line, probably skincare, because I mean, obviously, you can sell skin products and it will fly. What are you looking into? What do you intend to add to your line of products?
Delivery Beauty wants to become a household brand.
Okay.
We are focusing on providing natural cosmetic for women. Cosmetic that they're not going to react to.
Okay.
So you should be expecting the eyeshadow palettes from us. You should be expecting the foundations, the powders, the mascaras. We are looking at having a whole beauty line. Do you get the vision?
I get where you're coming
You get the
from.
vision.
Even though I can't relate to the names you mentioned, the eyeshadows and the mascaras and the
So
powder,
everything on my face.
yeah.
I had a lot of foundation, a lot of concealer, and all of those. So
Okay.
Delivery Beauty is looking at having those products for women.
All right.
Yes, in the long run. For now, we are doing what we can do because we're a small brand.
Okay.
We're looking at expanding. We believe we have a lot of women we can market to. Our target market is huge. We have a lot of women. Now, aside the face cosmetic, the mascaras, the foundations, and all of that, we are most definitely going to go into the body butters as well.
Okay.
We are not really concentrating much on those because we think we have a lot of those in the market.
Okay.
Though we can also go in and compete, we want to provide women with what is not readily available.
Okay.
Imagine a foundation that is made from shea butter. That
Okay.
is natural.
Okay.
A concealer made from shea butter. It is very possible. It's until you sit to do it, you don't think it's possible.
Alright.
So we are still looking at probably going into the lotions, the hand creams, the body butters,
Okay.
and all of that.
That sounds interesting. That you're going to have a whole wide range of
Yes.
products. Even though I can't really
You can't
relate.
relate. And we have
But
the men. You see, I always feel anytime the men are left out, I feel sad. I don't know why they don't. Why did they do that to you?
Sally, man, sitting down, concealer, all the things you're mentioning. Though,
You know, I think they always leave you out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we are going to definitely include the men as well.
Alright.
Skincare for men because it's important.
That's great.
It's important
That's
for men.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a market. So once you're into business and we fall within that target market and you can serve our needs and make your money and make an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't deny the fact that there are men who need that. Yeah, there are men who actually go to the spa almost every month or every week. Yeah, so
Exactly.
there are people out there. Have you thought of going into any other African country, or you just want to stay here? Do you send your products outside to people?
So currently we do have international clients we
Okay.
ship to,
Okay.
but having the business in the country, yes, we do have plans.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We want to be international.
All right.
International household brand. So definitely we are going to scale up. Once we scale up, we meet all the regulatory processes, we
Yeah.
would be able to
All right.
get into those areas. Yeah.
So as we wrap up, just to ask a few questions, who has been your biggest supporter all this while? I mean, you've mentioned that you have other siblings. You mentioned your mom doing business, combining, selling ice cream, which you ate half of, and all that. Who has held your back all this while?
My mom has been great. Yes. Talking about the fact that she supported me, she keeps supporting me no matter what I want to do. Did I tell you when I started off the lip gloss, my very first stock, when I got my ingredients, I got my tubes and all of that, it was 330 cedis. I got the money from her.
Whoa.
Yes, I texted that. I said, "Mama, I want to make lip gloss." He's like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yes, I want to make lip gloss. And so I need you to give me some money. I'll pay back," which I never did.
Okay.
Yes, and she gave it to me. She has always been supporting me. She's always posting me. My mom posts me. Sometimes she posts me more than I post myself. Yes, she's always putting me out there. And I think it's because I'm a good girl. I don't give her issues as well.
All right.
Yeah, so my mom, if you're watching this, I love you.
All
Thank you so much.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you've mentioned your dad. Father's Day is up the corner, so yeah. If you look at your life from entering uni taking a program that you didn't anticipate that you were going to do, and everything that has come up and what you're doing now. If you had a chance to rewind the clock, will you do anything otherwise?
If I had a chance to rewind the clock, I would go into beauty or fashion straight. No curve, no bend. Because that is where the money is. That is where the money is. And I will still go there anyway. I'm there anyway.
Yeah, you're
yes,
allowed
but
to.
if I had the chance to go back,
It would have been way earlier
it would have
than
been
it.
way earlier. It would have
Okay.
been way earlier. So my kid sister, she's interested in food. She loves to cook. She always wants to cook. So when it was time for her to go to school, I told my parents, look, don't force this girl to go and do the sciences and the arts. Sit her down, ask her what she wants to do, let her understand the available options in school. And she chose home economics.
Yeah.
And that's what we are pushing for her to do, and that's what she's doing now.
Right.
So I think I would have done that way earlier.
All right.
Yeah, but then I don't regret anyway. Wherever I am, I don't regret.
No, we all mentioned that the things that we've been through,
Yeah.
they are all part of. It's like a chain. It's
Yes.
connected to where we are getting to, and I mean, together it comes together to make it strong. So that's fine. For any girl out there looking up to you, a beauty queen from the Upper West, you mentioned you're a village girl. You've come over. You're doing all these great stuff. What should they aim at? What should they do to get to this point?
First of all, it's not easy as it looks. Nobody comes online to share their low moments with you. So you shouldn't be easily discouraged, because we have a lot of young ladies out there doing their best. They are doing their possible best, but unfortunately they allow external factors discourage them. You start a business with someone, you're all at your own pace. Then because you've seen the person, probably she has been able to open up a shop, then you want to open a shop so bad. Forgetting probably the shop is for her mom, or it's a family property. She's not paying rent, she's not paying anything. She just has the shop. There are so many things, a lot of young people
Will not tell you. Yeah.
they will not tell you. And then they allow pressure. We call it social media pressure.
Yeah.
So I always say you should be on guard. Do what's within your means. And it doesn't always look rosy as it looks.
Okay.
As it looks on social. It's not rosy as it looks on social media. Learn. Okay, explore other opportunities. Social media is a great place for you to learn. When I put out the advertising to get my agents, I had people texting me, hi, and they go off. Hi, what? In this era, you don't text hi and go off. Hi, my name is this. I want this. Thank you. Then I come and I respond. But when I go and see that, then you realize people are missing out on a lot of opportunities because of the way they are using their social media. Mm-hmm. So social media is a great tool in your hand. It's a tool of distraction. It's also a tool of, self-development. So I think you should leverage on anything you have.
Okay.
Social media, wherever you find yourself, make sure you are doing it well. Make sure you are thriving.
Right.
Make sure you are growing.
Right.
Growth is what's important.
I mean, and I recall you saying that you're a firm believer of if it must be done,
It must be done well. Yes.
All right. So I mentioned earlier that I had my undergrad education in WA. Yeah, I haven't learned any other language. I understand a few though.
Oh, really?
But I told you why I didn't learn so much because I did
Yes.
4-0. I stayed on campus the whole time.
Not good.
Now, what are the plans as you move forward? Anything for the region? Is there anything you're doing back home as a beauty queen and as an entrepreneur? Is there anything you're doing back in the Upper West or future plans for the region?
If I get the chance to set up a factory, most likely it will be there.
Okay.
Most likely it will be there to just create employment for those there. Aside the business aspects, I'm also looking at, going back. That's the thing. We have plans. The plans are there, but how to execute them is the issue. So what we are currently doing is we are also trying to set up some form of a pageant. So we are looking at how to promote education.
Okay.
We are putting plans in place. We are looking at how to probably advocate for the young ladies to go to school. Now,
Okay.
if you were in school with a Nordna, specifically a Dagaba, you would attest to the fact that they don't play with their books.
Sure.
Yes, that is because of the background we come from.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some people just have to step back because of financial constraints. So my team and I, we are looking at how we can help these young girls,
Okay.
fulfill that dream, finish up school, go to school and be who they want to be.
All right.
Yeah, so we're looking at creating jobs, we're looking at promoting education and any other thing.
All
Yes,
right.
and the skill as well. So I forgot to mention that I'm also looking at providing training
Skills
in the
training.
region.
Okay.
Because this thing I'm telling you about, a lot of people have the skill. They have the basics, but how to build on it to
Okay.
do
Do
something
all
like
these,
this
yeah.
exactly is the issue. So imagine instead of, I said this, instead of probably 28th May, which was a menstrual hygiene day, instead of going to communities and giving these girls free sanitary pads, which mostly you can give a girl 2 or 3 pads, she needs more than that for
In a
the
year.
whole year. So
Even
why
if
don't
give
you
it for a
train
year.
them?
Yeah.
Train them to make things out of crochet that they can sell, to buy themselves that pad, instead of always spoon feeding them, getting them the pads and all of that. Then again, we have a lot of tourist sites,
Yeah.
that we just don't see on social media.
Right.
Trust me, during the pageant, when I went online to search, I wasn't getting them. So I stopped doing my research on social media because it wasn't helping.
Yeah.
There was a lot in my region that is not online. So I had to place calls. I had to call the old people, my grandfathers and my grandmothers. We have certain tourist sites that are abandoned. People do not go there. The structures are in a very bad state.
Yeah.
So you get to realize that people don't know about them and they're older. So we are trying to bring all of that to light as well. And indirectly, once we are able to bring them to light, we get to drive investors to the region.
That's true.
Because they'll go to these tourist sites and then they can see.
That's great. So I saw the story of, I was in WA for 4 years, and I bypassed the palace around after STC.
Yes,
go
yes,
eat,
yes,
and
yes.
then I never stepped foot there.
You
Then
never
I
stepped
got a job to work with DW. I had a German boss. If we had a training for 1 week, we have like 2 days. So we stop, we check all the tourist sites on the road before we get to WA. The next day we go to the tourist. So if we have a training on Monday, we travel probably on Friday.
Okay.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday as for seeing sites. And I saw places that I spent 4 years in WA
You never went.
without knowing. And it took a white man to say, okay, I've seen this, I hear there's this here, let's go there. It's also probably because of the way we grow up. If you're going for excursion, our idea of excursion is there has to be water, you have to go and swim, so that's a kind of, there's a whole mindset that we need to push.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you mentioned how do we provide certain skills to these girls so that they can produce items themselves, make some sale out of it, and be able to buy sanitary pads. I mean, even if it's 20 CDs they are making in a week,
Yes.
it can buy
They
them.
can,
It
yes.
can buy them. So it's good we share a few sanitary pads when it's menstrual hygiene week or menstrual hygiene day, but for a long term plan, I think what you've just shared is good. And I have a lot of memories in WA. So Radio Progress, Radio Upper West. My early days when I wanted to do radio, I think I went to Radio Upper West.
Really?
I went there for like 2 weeks, never touched a console, and I gave up.
Oh.
And I started working. I worked with the network of community radio stations, and I happened to work with Radio Progress. And I remembered, okay, so Radio Progress was in Y and all that. And Sugar also I met through Radio Progress, so I know what the radio does. So for me, I mean, I'm just pledging on the show that if you have to do anything in Upper West that requires media or anything, just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's your region,
Yes.
but a few people that I know on the side, and I also know. And then the ideas of supporting education, there are a few ideas that we could share together as we move on.
And I forgot to mention, there is another thing that's very dear to my heart.
Sorry.
It's because I can relate very well. Sickle cell.
Okay.
Yes, unfortunately, we lack that aspect of education. I think nationally we
yeah.
lack it, but then, of course, I have to concentrate on my region.
All right.
So I'm looking at sensitizing them
Okay.
on sickle cell.
Okay.
Most people don't know what it is. Personally, I'm a carrier,
Okay.
so I understand what it is. Most people do not understand that before you decide to settle down with someone, you have to get those things checked. So they don't do it. They have these kids. The kids are born, they are sick, and they try to make it look spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual.
Yes, and then a child with sickle cell, it's a lot of crisis. Yeah. So we are looking at also, we've started it before. I did a radio tour.
Okay.
And we hit on that aspect, but it's something I want to go back and resensitize, let them understand what it is. So I always believe in catching them young. So we are looking at starting from the secondary schools. If you're able to explain it to them, we could even do a screening to let them know what it is. So as they grow and they decide to settle down, they make the right decisions. Yeah.
That's a whole lot you have on your plate, and I can only wish you like the best in the coming future.
Thank you.
As we wrap up, any last words?
If it's not your passion, trust me, it wouldn't work. That is why when you are ill, you go to the hospital, the nurse there is probably not attending to you because nursing is not their passion. You go to the hospital, you are sick, you find a nurse who is very caring. Nursing is her passion. Go after your passion. Your business should be your passion. In this current economy, if what you are doing, you don't love doing it, trust me, you lock up your shop and go home. Because you are even trying to restock, it's hard. You are trying to buy materials and it's very difficult. So go after your passion. If you want to settle down with a business, I always advise, I'm not a perfectionist in business. I don't even have any business background. But with a little I know, I believe if it's your passion, it's better. That way you are able to pursue it well. As I mentioned, if it must be done, it must be done well. No room for mistakes. If you're in a business, always prioritize quality over quantity. And try to maintain your customers, because your returning customers are the best customers. And don't let social media pressure you. My journey wouldn't have been this smooth without an amazing group of people. Sun Suma, they have been so amazing. I want to say a very big thank you to all of them for their support throughout the journey and even now. And to my management team, Pearl, Frederick, Nene, Charlotte, and my designer, Seska Kujo. Thank you so much.
All right. So tell your designer that I will need to see whatever he or she designs. Is it a he or a she?
So it's interesting. Seska is a very, very it's like she thinks differently. So fashion night, when I saw my colleagues' gowns, I was like, oh no, this one, dear, I'm off. It will amaze you my dress won best dress that night.
Whoa.
Because Seska will tell you less is more. She doesn't do a lot of
embellishment and all.
No, it was just flawless. My dress was described as a je ne sais quoi. Of fashion. So Seska, big ups to you.
All right, Wendy, thank you very much for your time. It's been great having you.
Thank you,
and I look forward to hosting you again. And I'm sure that there'll be so much to talk about whenever you come on the show again. We wish you the best in all your endeavors, and I'm sure we'll pass by a school to you teaching in class one day.
Most definitely. And thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you.